Steve Jobs designed amazing products, simplifying often complex products down to very easy-to-use products that consumers loved. But that wasn't what allowed him to dominate his market. Steve Jobs built powerful patents and trademarks to protect his products so that nobody could copy his amazing designs, and this was the key to his success. New product developers should learn from his approach and make sure to protect themselves using both patents and trademarks.
Steve Jobs created many of the most iconic trademarks the world has ever seen, and they have dominated the tech industry for decades. Developing and protecting powerful trademarks was a key part of the success of Apple Computer. But first, let me explain a bit more about exactly what a trademark is.
A trademark is any form of mark used to signify the source of the goods or services being provided. Commonly used marks include a name, a slogan, or a graphic logo. A company name like Apple is usually the primary trademark used to identify the source of a product or service. The Apple slogan, "Think Different," has a similar function, as does the Apple Shake logo. When Steve first created his first company, he started it with what is perhaps the single greatest trademark in history, Apple. This mark is powerfully distinctive in the field of computers. It nonetheless promised a wholesome, healthy, wonderful experience to consumers. Almost everyone loves apples, and what is more American than apple pie? They even keep doctors away. The selection of this simple yet powerful trademark may have been Steve's greatest feat in his whole career. He followed this up with a whole line of interconnected marks, such as the iPhone, iPad, iTunes, which allowed consumers to easily find Apple products without being tricked into buying from a competitor.
Today, almost nobody dares copy Apple's famous trademarks, and it's very easy for Apple fans to find Apple products without being tricked into buying any knockoff competitors. But trademarks aren't the only protection that Steve Jobs used to protect his products. He also made extensive use of patents, both utility patents and design patents, to protect his innovative new products. If you're interested in developing a trademark for your new venture, at the end of this video, I will show you how to do one of the most important parts of the trademark process: a trademark clearance search. So hold on till the end of the video for this special bonus content.
There are two types of patents that Steve Jobs used to protect his products: utility patents and design patents. Utility patents protect useful, functional aspects of a product. It grants an exclusive right to make, use, or sell the product for 20 years. Apple has protected many functional features of their products, such as their innovations in touchscreens. The Apple II was protected with a patent titled Microcomputer for Use with Video Display. This patent revolutionized the computer industry by introducing color graphics. The iPhone was protected with a patent titled Telephone Interface for a Portable Communication Device. This patent protected innovations in cell phone use and internet browsing capabilities. The iPhone was also protected with patents on multi-touch technology, which protected a core innovation of the iPhone: the ability to interact with devices using gestures like pinching and swiping. Apple has thousands of patents protecting key features of their innovative products. A design patent protects the ornamental appearance of a product. It lasts for 15 years from filing, and it prevents competitors from making a competing product that looks substantially similar from the eyes of an ordinary observer. Since Steve invested a great deal into his product designs, some of the most critical innovations in Apple were protected with design patents. Design patents were critical to his success. Examples include design patents on the iconic iPhone design. Other iconic design patents were filed on innovations such as program icons and configurations of icons, and these patents paid off. They really paid off. Not only did they limit competition, they also produced huge new income streams. For example, a California jury awarded Apple almost $1 billion for infringement of their iPhone patents. It is difficult to overstate the power of a strong patent portfolio.
Steve Jobs had the foresight to protect his critical intellectual property with both patents and trademarks. And now that strategy has really paid off. They have a powerful wall of intellectual property between their products and the products of their competition.
And now Apple is one of the most valuable companies on the planet. So learn from the wisdom of Steve Jobs and take steps today to protect your company's valuable patents and trademarks. It will be the best investment you have ever made.
Now, earlier in the video, I promised you some special content at the end about how to do your own trademark clearance search. The very first step when developing a trademark is selecting a legally acceptable distinctive name, and I will do a more in-depth video explaining this process. I highly recommend you learn how to pick a great trademark before moving forward. But once you have a name selected, the next step is perhaps the most critical of the entire process, doing a trademark clearance search to make sure your mark does not conflict with another. Fortunately, you can do your own trademark clearance search at www.uspto.gov.
So I'm going to show you how to do a trademark search really quick on the USPTO website. So this is what the screen currently looks like when you log into the USPTO website. All you have to do is hover over trademarks and pick the search option and trademark search system. And this will get you right to a very easy to use tool for doing trademark searches. So in this case, I'm going to do a search for Buffalo brand bourbon. So I'm going to type in Buffalo and do the initial search, and you'll see it's going to give you, it initially gives you both the live and the dead. Sometimes it's interesting to see the dead just to see if there's anything that was recently died, or it can be interesting to find out exactly what's there. But for simplicity, you can sometimes just cut that off and go right into the marks and see if there's anything important. Now, once you have the basic mark in, you can then refine it with either the goods or the class codes. So in this case, I'm going to put in bourbon and do another search, and that will give you a bunch of marks that are in the same ballpark. Now, instead of searching just for bourbon, it's better to replace that with the class code. So in this case, you can see from these examples where bourbon is listed, it's class 33, that is alcoholic beverages. So I'm going to replace bourbon with 33. So now we're searching not just bourbon, but all alcoholic drinks. So we're going to do another search for that, and you'll see right away there's Buffalo, Buffalo Milk, White Buffalo. There are a bunch of prior registrations or pending applications for very similar names. So in this case, I would say definitely don't try to register the word Buffalo. It's already being used pretty extensively. There's probably going to be some conflicts here.
When you are trying to determine if there is a conflict between two marks, you compare your mark to existing applications and registrations, and you also compare the goods or services being sold by each company. You have to consider both the marks and the goods for a proper analysis. For example, is Blue Monkey Bourbon too similar to Pink Monkey Scotch? Are these close enough to cause consumer confusion? They both include a very distinctive term, monkey, and they are both for alcoholic drinks. In this case, since the second mark includes the distinctive term monkey, and the goods are very closely related, I would be concerned about infringement, notwithstanding the different colors included in the marks. What about red velvet bourbon compared to velvet hammers and screwdrivers? While the names are very similar and both contain the distinctive term velvet, they are for such completely unrelated products that consumer confusion is unlikely. If your marking goods are so similar that consumer confusion is likely, then you may infringe their trademark. Not only will they reject your trademark application, but you could get sued for trademark infringement and forced to change your name, and sometimes even pay damages. This is a critical mistake, so it is essential to do a trademark clearance search. Now you may want to invest in having a professional do a detailed search, as a comprehensive search can be difficult for a novice. Give me a call if you are interested in my help with doing a trademark search and registration.
I hope that helped, and if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or schedule a phone consultation. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and subscribe.
If you want to learn more about how long a patent lasts and how to maintain a patent, please click here.